Om Shanti. Welcome to Midday Meditation. Here we are in another week. Spring is upon us. The topic that I'd like to take up today is going back to the intellect. We talked a lot about the mind for a couple of weeks and how the mind is under the management of the intellect. But I want to look at just the intellect because in intellect, the intellect has the ability to choose my experience of life. This is basically what the intellect is. The intellect is the part of us that can choose. And that's why in a court of law, we're always responsible for our actions because we always can choose. It's the intellect that can choose. And if the intellect is strong, the intellect will make good choices. If the intellect is weak, the intellect will make bad choices. And when the intellect makes bad choices, we have to suffer the consequences of those choices. Sometimes for years, we have to suffer the consequences of one or two or three bad choices that the intellect made. Bad meaning the intellect was under the influence of the ego, which is always full of fear, some kind of fear. Whereas a good choice, if the intellect makes a good choice, that means a choice that's made with the understanding that I, the inner being, am powerful and I can make good choices because I have values and principles and good qualities and I have wisdom and I have a lot of experience. And I can put all of these things together and I can always make a good choice. Now, the best good choices for the intellect are automatic choices. If the intellect can make an automatic choice, then no energy is wasted. We're very susceptible to making automatic choices that are bad choices. No, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it. Not now. Get away from me. All of these automatic bad choices. So we have to create good habits. And one very good habit to have is to always choose to be positive in any situation, to be positive. The situation might be terrible, but I personally myself am going to choose to be positive because I'm not part of the situation. Even if the situation is something that's happening to this body, I'm not part of the body. So the body can go through whatever it has to, but I choose to be positive. This is a strong intellect, and this is what gives us the courage to be able to take risks, to set high expectations for ourselves, to try and improve our lives instead of just waiting around for something good to happen. Strong intellect, and a strong intellect makes positive choices. I always am going to react or respond positively. Now, my first reaction might not be positive. However, this is where the intellect comes in. The intellect immediately, if I react to something with fear or anger or intimidation or denial, the intellect has to immediately step in and say, not in my kingdom. We don't put that kind of energy in here. We put in energy that's positive because positive energy makes us feel good and it gives us fuel for creating something of benefit. Positive, always positive. We can always impact any situation with positive energy. We can make it better with positive energy. And this is what we'll practice together today. To begin with, take a few deep, full, easy breaths. Watch the air enter and leave the lungs. Notice how quiet the breath is and let the mind become quiet just on observing the breath. Let the mind become quiet. And then notice how gentle the breath is. And as you're observing that, let the mind become gentle. When we think rapidly, the thinking process tends to become harsh. We feel better when we think gently. Let the thoughts come and leave gently. Let the mind itself be gentle, not stressed, not tense, but gentle and quiet. When the mind is gentle and quiet, it's receptive to positive thoughts. If the mind is tense and stressed, it will not be able to either create a positive thought or even receive a positive thought. So the intellect is telling the mind, be gentle, be quiet, be very receptive to positive thoughts. Now bring your awareness to the seat of the soul behind the forehead, the tiny spark of spiritual light. I am the peaceful soul who lives in this body. I live here peacefully. I use this body peacefully. And I think peacefully. When my mind is peaceful, it's easy to accept, receive a positive thought. So I start with this simple positive thought about myself. I am a peaceful soul. Peace is a very positive quality. And soul is a wonderful thing to be. Eternal, divine, powerful. Within the soul are countless positive energies waiting to be noticed and explored and used. And so the circumstances of my life are sometimes pleasant and sometimes unpleasant, but I don't have to let the circumstances rule my mind. It's better to have the intellect rule the mind. and let the intellect find positive thoughts for every occasion. I am a peaceful soul. I have within me the energy of love. The energy of joy. I have many good qualities. These are the basis of positive thoughts. Now, I also have good experience and wisdom and expertise, and all of these definitely will help me. But first, the positive thoughts, and then I can go to my wisdom and my expertise and my experience. First, the positive thoughts. I need to set the um, I need to set the uh, conditions of the mind so that the mind will be able to play around with positive thoughts and use them to create positive attitudes and positive outlooks, and then look for little opportunities for solutions. So, first, the positive thoughts, and then the okay, now what do we do? I am a peaceful soul, a loving soul. I have great wisdom and experience. Up until this moment in my life, whatever life has given me, I've been able to deal with it, to get through it, sometimes gracefully, sometimes laboriously, but nevertheless, I've always been able to get through everything. And there's always been some learning. Usually, the more suffering, the more learning. Not that we want to suffer, but when we suffer, it requires us to learn something different, something better, to remove the suffering. So I have lots and lots of life experiences. Nothing in life can knock out a soul. A soul is eternal. Yes, the situations of my life are constantly changing. And as much as I would like to, I cannot go back to the way things used to be in the past. But I can be positive right now. And if I can hold that positive attitude, I will create something better for the future. Hold the positive energy. I am creative and innovative. And I have a lot of resources inside of me. And also, if I look around, I can be inspired by good ideas or models. People may be role models for me. I have all of the tools that I need to get through any circumstance in life. And then I can look at the circumstances of my life with enthusiasm. Let me see, what can I learn from this? What can I create out of this? How can this relationship be improved and become more enjoyable because of this? Positive thoughts start getting us to think in terms of creating, creating something very beautiful. And positive thoughts also energize the soul, whereas negative thoughts drain our energy. You can always have a positive attitude. Where is a little window of opportunity? I'm an eternal soul, which means I have experiences I don't even remember. But my positive experiences of the past would have left a positive trace on the soul. And we're thinking positively about myself and my life, I can trigger those positive memories of the past. My future is bright because I'm creating it with peace and love. And with this peace and love, even the present is bright. I create my own experience. I'm not a sponge soaking up other people's energies. I'm not a ping pong ball bouncing off walls. I'm a divine spiritual being, an eternal being, a being of light, and a child of God. I can always call on my Supreme Father for guidance, not to do things for me, but to give me some really good positive thoughts. Because God infinitely has positive thoughts, positive energy, eternally positive energy. I can connect with the Supreme Soul, be there, sit in the company of the supremely positive being, sit in silence, and absorb positive energy. This positive energy from God can be used in any way that I want. It's like a blank check. See yourself, the tiny being of light. See yourself in the home of light. Surrounded by silence, bliss, freedom. See yourself in the company of the supremely positive being. Nothing but positive energy radiates from this being. And so the whole dimension is filled with positive energy, the energy of spiritual qualities, all purpose energy. If there's one particular energy that I would like, if I would like love, or I would like acceptance, or I would like self respect, I can pull that energy out of this pool of positive energy. I can pull out whatever it is the soul desires. Because the light of God is filled with all virtues, all forms of goodness. Be present in this place of light, in the company of the supremely positive being. Feel those waves of positive energy. And let yourself absorb that positive energy. It's necessary to be full of positive energy in order to automatically have positive thoughts. We need material for our positive thoughts. Feel that security of belonging to the supremely positive being. I can always come and experience positive energy. I can always recharge my batteries with positive energy. Now, bring your awareness back into the present moment and see yourself as having a choice. You can always choose to have positive thoughts about yourself and about your life. Om Shanti. Now for our blessing for today. There's the card. And the blessing says, when you are happy, the whole world looks beautiful. When you are happy, the whole world looks beautiful. So let's have a spectacular, beautiful world today.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister.